see how technology works. We'll find out how quickly we can get them up. But let's see how we're doing. Yeah. So I know you were watching a lot of football over the weekend, right?
Yes, I was catching quite a few of those games.
Any ones that stood out in your mind as being particularly exciting or interesting?
Well, I mean, to start off with the first game, the Thursday nighter, the Washington game, that was a big one. It was Washington Packers, and the Packers were the favorites by a few points. They were about 3.5 point favorites in that game. And they started off right away, just hitting the ground running. Jordan Love just was on top. I mean, he was amazing. He did very well accurately, and he just hit all his targets. Once again, spreading the ball around to all his receivers, and it ended up being a real rough game for Washington, and it was more touted to be more of a closer game because after how Washington did last year, it didn't end up being that.
Well, also Jaden Daniels, I guess, apparently spraining his knee. It's kind of questionable how long he's going to be out. So hopefully he's not too badly hurt. But it looks like Marcus Mariota may get the start in the coming week.
Going up against the Raiders. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. So a lot of missed connections and just some issues on the running game for Washington, and it just looked like they just once again struggled to get the ball to Terry McLaurin. So that's their top target. They got to figure out what they're going to do there, how they're going to get him more open. But at the end of the day, they went against Green Bay. Green Bay right now is great on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Packers are looking good. I mean, another piece of bad news, I guess, for the Commanders, losing Austin Eckler for the season to an Achilles injury. So that's no fun. But Jordan Love looked good. I mean, he had a couple of touchdowns, threw for 292 yards. Also kind of interesting, Josh Jacobs had his 10th straight game with a rushing touchdown. That's interesting as well.
Josh Jacobs has always been consistent. Every game he plays, you know how he's going to run already. He's going to run hard. He's going to be physical, and he's definitely going to give you everything he's got. So he's just one of the most consistent backs in the league at this point.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a moment to bring on camera Marcus Richardson. Marcus, of course, you may remember from last week's episode. Marcus is a student over at Full Sail and participating in the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. Welcome, Marcus. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
And now I know you were watching a lot of football over the weekend as well. Is that right?
I was.
What were some of the games that stood out in your mind?
Well, the game you just mentioned definitely stood out, the Thursday night game. The Packers looked really impressive on both sides of the ball. Like you said, Jordan Love was really good. They lost Jaden Reed. He'll be out for a while. That's a big loss for them, especially because they still got Christian Watson still out. But, I mean, they got a lot of young receivers, and a lot of times with Green Bay, it doesn't matter who's out there playing. Receiver, even last year quarterback, they won games with Malik Willis.
That's true.
They look really impressive, man. They look like a really strong team.
Definitely. And I know we were talking earlier about some of the other games that you were watching as well. What's sort of next on your list of games that we should be talking about here?
Very interesting game was Panthers-Cardinals.
Okay, sure.
That game was really interesting to me. Two former number one picks. Guys, quarterbacks, we don't really know what to make of. Like, we're not sure. Bryce Young, everyone was kind of out on him, but then he kind of had a resurgence in the second half of last season. And then Kyler Murray, he had some highs and he had some lows. So
injuries and
I just was kind of interested to see like what they would look like on Sunday. And I thought both quarterbacks were really good. For Bryce Young, he started off the game with 2 bad turnovers. He had a strip sack that led to a touchdown. He also got intercepted, and the Panthers were still in the game, but the Cardinals took advantage. They got the ball last before half. They scored a touchdown, and then they got the ball coming out of the half and scored another touchdown. So now they're up 27-3, and Bryce Young hasn't touched the ball in a minute, and there's a lot of pressure on him to see what he can do. Can they mount a comeback? And he did a very good job of bringing them all the way back. They were in position to possibly win this game at the end, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, he played really well, but he had a bad mistake late that led to them making it a one-score game, and then the Cardinals gave up an onside kick, and then it was looking like I was having flashbacks to Ravens-Bills, thinking, are they going to come back? And because it just looked like the Cardinals had that game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they made it very interesting at the end. The Cardinals, I think, are a really interesting team. I think they are capable of winning that division.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have like some very interesting players, some very talented players.
Yeah.
So, but if they are going to do that, they have to kind of clean up a lot of what we saw on Sunday. They can't have so many penalties. You can't allow the Panthers to get that onside kick. You just can't have that. And
Yeah, I mean,
they just have to be better there.
Sure, and Bryce Young, I mean, really came alive in the second half. That's for sure. I mean, finished the game with 328 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Wasn't quite enough, but yeah, I mean, it was 27-22, close game. But of course, the Cardinals finished on top. And any others that were on your radar? Any other games that you were watching over the weekend that you wanted to chat about?
I have a game that I wasn't watching.
Okay.
I did not watch Chiefs Eagles
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl rematch, but I didn't
Yeah.
watch it because I kind of felt like I knew what was going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and more or less that kind of is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I thought, just were the much better team, and it wound up being closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But for the Chiefs, their offense looked subpar once again, and that has kind of been like what we've seen from the Chiefs recently. They just haven't been able to generate consistent offense.
Yeah.
And in large part due to a subpar skill position group.
Mm-hmm.
They are without Rashee Rice, and now they're also down Worthy. So you just don't know who's going to make that big play for them. They had that one big play, but it doesn't seem like their offense was struggling on Sunday.
Yeah.
A couple drops from Kelsey too that hurt him.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Big drop that to
Wide
interception
open.
was returned back. That was big.
That was a big game-changing moment right there.
Yeah, for him to bobble the ball right near the goal line, that
Yeah.
I mean, that could have changed.
That could change
the whole
everything.
momentum of everything.
The whole
Absolutely, yeah. in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
That was unfortunate, and it was interesting too. I mean, Mahomes, when you look at just the numbers, I mean, he kind of outpassed Hurts, he outran Hurts, but
Right.
yet still, the Eagles, throw in Saquon Barkley, maybe that was the difference maker right there. But the Eagles
Mahomes was
20.
actually the leading rusher as well on the team.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of running game.
That's true.
So
Like I
that's
said,
the issue.
Did that.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes is leading the team in rushing. That's not good.
yeah,
The Chiefs have to be able to establish the run a bit more, and I just don't know how they can do that. Their backs aren't. They don't have an explosive back. Isaiah Pacheco hasn't looked the same since he's come back from injury.
right.
And other than that, they have Kareem Hunt, who's twice our age. So
Yeah.
I just don't know whether they're going to get off.
That's true. That's true. It'll be interesting. I mean, if the Chiefs to start the season 0-2, I mean, I think a lot of people would have been surprised if they knew that was going to happen. But the Chiefs do have a tough schedule. They've had a couple of tough opponents early in the season, so it'll be interesting to see. Can they get back into the playoff hunt? We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think they've got New York next on the schedule, going against Russell Wilson. And tough loss to Dallas. I think it's kind of a perfect transition right now.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing game. There was a lot of close games, but this was the biggest shootout we had the whole weekend. This was one of the biggest, most exciting games we had. Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Just like old time.
It was something. I mean, Russell Wilson had an amazing game. 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and looked like they were going to win. And then somehow, that 64-yard field goal by Brandon Aubrey was really kind of tied it up. And then they went to overtime, and sure enough, Aubrey had the 46-yarder in the final play of overtime.
Yeah.
But and that 64-yarder was actually basically the third longest kick in the NFL history. Of course, the number one being anyone know who's the longest kick? 66 yards by
Was it Justin?
Justin Tucker.
Okay,
Justin Tucker in
I figured.
2021. That's it.
Yeah.
But a couple of yards off that record right there. But yeah, I mean, that was a close one. I mean, the Cowboys barely squeaked out of it with the victory, but
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah, and then just
Yeah.
that one miscommunication. Between him and Neighbors,
Yeah.
it was him and Neighbors all night.
Mhm.
But it looked like they weren't on the same page on that last play. It was a deep ball. I don't know if it was a post route. I forget what it was, but he ran. Neighbors was going the complete other direction. It didn't look good. When you saw it, it looked like where is Russ throwing it to?
Yeah.
But it looked like there was a miscommunication on that play. So, just one less mistake led to Dak and the Cowboys taking that game.
True.
Yeah.
But anything to add to that? Anything else you want to mention about that game?
That game was a lot of the 1 p.m. games were just the finishes were just crazy. That game, Miami and New England, that game was Russell Wilson. That was prime Russell Wilson right there, just launching deep balls down the field, and they were just going down there and getting it.
Yeah.
The Giants offense got a lot of criticism after week 1, so it was big for them to come into Dallas and put on that performance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was quite an exciting game. So you get a chance to catch some of the highlights, maybe worth checking that out. But I know we got some comments popping up on our live Facebook feed for those of you who are watching
Shout
online.
out to Steven.
Oh, okay, Steven, there you go. So, Steven, you want to go ahead and tell us what he's asking?
Thanks for the comment. So he was asking, you saying, how about them Chicago Bears? So
About the Bears.
About them.
How about the Bears?
Hey, Yogi Bear.
Let's talk about the Bears. So, with Chicago, we had
but against Detroit.
the Lions beat them 52-21. So kind of a rough day.
It was
for the Bears. How about the Bears? But Jared Goff, 334 yards, 5 touchdowns, including 3 of them to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who also had a great game with 115 yards. Caleb Williams was pulled late in the game. Once it was clear that they weren't going to make a comeback at that point. But what were your thoughts about the game? Were you guys paying attention to that one? Or
I was flipping back and forth.
And
Goff was just. They look like they're back to their self from last year, their 2024 self. So they look how they were looking the last couple of years, but they were just slinging it. It's like they scored on almost every possession. Yeah, they got what they needed, what they wanted to on every play, every play they went out. So whether that was Amon-Ra or trying to think of who else.
Jameson Williams.
Williams. Williams had some good plays. A lot of great plays. So they just got a lot of production on both receiving, rushing. They did everything. Even I think Goff actually had a couple of rushes himself. They were doing everything. They were doing everything yesterday. So that was a big game. That we didn't mention about them.
I do have some stats. Jared Goff, like you said, he had a monster game. He was 23 of 28 for 334 yards. 5 touchdowns. According to Next Gen Stats, he had a plus 16.8 completion percentage over expected. So nearly 17% completion percentage over expected. Very impressive. The Lions look like the Lions will after a subpar performance in week 1. And for the Bears, I actually thought the Bears had a chance. I was tempted to kind of pick the Bears to win that game. And boy, was I wrong. The Bears outclassed.
We put no money on it. That's
what I mean. I was tempted to, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be closer for sure. I think everybody thought it was going to at least be closer than that.
Right.
But Detroit, they just went off. They went crazy, and Chicago needed help.
Yeah.
They didn't have a good.
Let's talk about the Patriots and Dolphins. Kind of a really disappointing start for the Dolphins at 0-2. Patriots have had their share of challenges, but they were able to deliver the first win from Mike Vrabel, as coach of that team, 33-27. At Hard Rock, too. Even adding insult to injury for the Dolphins. But, Tyreek Hill at least kind of woke up, had 6 catches for 109 yards. But, I don't know what's going on. Tua finished with 315 yards, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough.
Yes. Some of those plays, especially one of the last plays, Tua, it just wasn't a good pass. I remember it was picked off at the end of the game, and it was just a bad decision.
Yeah.
And so that was frustrating to see that. And then how the team felt at that point. I don't know what happened, but It didn't look like a good play. So a bad finish to that. Felt like the whole game. You felt like, okay, Miami should be able to get back in this. They should be able to make it happen. And that it just didn't work out that way. So
It just didn't come together.
didn't come together.
And speaking of the Florida teams, of course, the Jaguars are now 1-1 after losing to the Bengals 31-27. That was an interesting game as well. I mean, Joe Burrow went out with an injury to his toe in the first half, and Jake Browning came in and filled in pretty well, actually. Scored with 18 seconds remaining to put the Bengals back up 31-27.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. I mean, there was kind of a controversial call. I know Travis Hunter called for pass interference at one point in the game. And also, with about 4 minutes to go, the Jags went for it on 4th and 5 with less than 4 minutes to go. And Brian Thomas Jr. dropped the Trevor Lawrence pass, and that just set up the Bengals to drive 92 yards to secure the victory with that. They were in the game-winning touchdown. So we shall see what happens. The Jaguars, I will be in Jacksonville for the game against the Texans coming up on Sunday at 1:00 p.m. So hopefully we'll see a better result out of the Jaguars this coming weekend.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I really thought once he went down, I'm trying to remember.
The Jags you talking? Oh, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Went down. I was drawing blank for a second. Once Burrow went down, I was thinking that was a good opportunity for the Jags to do what they needed to do at that point.
I think a lot of people kind of thought, oh, Burrow's out now. They got this one. Yeah.
But then still, Jamar Chase, he just started still catching them. They just started slinging it to Chase, and also it was Chase and Higgins. Yeah, Higgins was catching a lot of passes too.
Yeah.
They were playing a spectacular play down the right sideline. Broke 2 tackles and got to the end zone.
Yep. So they didn't miss a beat at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did. And South for Cincinnati, Joe Burrow is reportedly out for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months or so.
With turf toe.
That's really rough for him. It seems like he can't catch a break.
Yeah.
He's had 2 seasons derailed by injury. He comes last year, has an all-time performance, but can't make the playoffs because their defense was a high school defense. Then this year,
yes, they would.
he comes and the narrative on the Bengals has always been they never win games early. They always start 0-2. For the first time, they start off the season with 2 wins, and now he's out for 3 months. That's really rough for the Bengals.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as the season goes on. But it's an opportunity for Jake Browning to step in and fill those shoes, I guess. So we'll see what happens.
So far, so good.
How about the Niners and Saints? Mac Jones getting an opportunity to fill in for Brock Purdy, and kind of similar to what he was doing when he filled in for Trevor Lawrence, maybe even a little bit better. I mean, he was through for 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. Speaking of toe injuries, Brock Purdy is out with a toe injury that kept him out for the game. It allowed Mac Jones to step up. And, they were up against Spencer Rattler, who also had 3 touchdowns, but the Saints kind of hurt themselves with some penalties, missed field goal, some fumbles. It was just kind of sloppy play in general. But,
and Rattler didn't look bad for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good kind of back and forth, and, it was a good offense versus defense. Both solid.
Yeah.
And San Fran just pulled away.
Yeah. Any thoughts about that game?
They did. The Saints have, they're kind of like everyone's looking past them, but they've kind of been competent in these first 2 weeks. Like they aren't like a pushover like a lot of people thought they were. Rather, to your point, he has looked competent. He's looked like he can run that offense. And you just wonder, like, can they maybe get like some splash plays and maybe start winning some of these games? But Mac Jones, he had a very good statistical performance. He looked comfortable. There are reports that he's actually the quarterback that Kyle Shanahan wanted back when they drafted Trey Lance.
Interesting. Okay.
There are reports that Kyle Shanahan actually wanted him.
Yeah.
They say that Kyle speaks very highly of Mac Jones. So I was interested to see how he performed, and he looked pretty good.
No, absolutely. He definitely stepped it up and pulled out the victory. So that looked good. Rams-Titans. Rams 33, Titans 19. Of course, Matt Stafford with 298 yards and 2 touchdowns on the road. Not bad. Devontae Adams had 101 yards and a touchdown. Puka Nacua, 8 catches for 91 yards and 45 yards rushing and a touchdown. Cam Ward also finally got his first touchdown pass. That was interesting to see that, but he ended up with about 175 yards. So he's got, he is kind of saddled, I guess, by the Titans team in general. But what were your thoughts about that game? Anything to add?
So I actually didn't catch that one,
Mhm.
but I did see some of the highlights, and I noticed that was the main thing that I had noticed was really just how they played, back and forth.
Yep.
There was a little bit of there was some tension there that happened a little bit more in halftime that I noticed, but other than that, that one was a pretty, Matthew Stafford is going to do what Matthew Stafford does, right?
Right.
And so it's like
Sure.
they're one of those like quiet teams that they quietly beat people, and they're never like in the headline or very rarely until it gets later in the season, and then they're like, wow, man, the Rams are still in. They're still hanging around. So that's kind of how that works within my eyes.
Exactly right. That's kind of what their narrative is. They kind of get overlooked until you can't overlook them anymore.
Yep.
But I think Puka Nacua is making a very strong case that he is the best wide receiver in the NFL. He continues to make just some amazing plays out there. He is really good. And Cam Ward, 0-2, two straight losses to start his career, but he makes some very impressive plays. Like, he does things that not a lot of other quarterbacks are able to do. That one touchdown pass that he had was an amazing play. Like, that was impressive. To escape the rush and throw across his body all the way to the left side.
Oh yeah, I remember that play. Yep.
That was very impressive.
That was very risky. But that was a good one.
I wouldn't advise him to keep trying that.
Right.
Tried and it worked. So.
Yeah, went right across his body, but it was perfect, man. That ball just fell right in there. It was a perfect touchdown.
Hopefully, he'll continue to develop as the number one pick. Everyone has very high expectations for Cam Ward, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And Bills Jets, of course, no big surprises there. I guess the Bills continue to be very strong. The Jets a little bit disappointing after they gave the Steelers more of a fight, I think, last week. But certainly Justin Fields, is actually now in the concussion protocol. So the Jets may be starting Tyrod Taylor, is what I'm hearing, for the next game, and against the Bucks on Sunday. So you might be paying closer attention to that one. And Fields only had 27 yards before he was removed from the concussion, so it was kind of a rough outing for the Jets. But we'll see what happens next week. Anything to add on that game? Or you pay attention to that one at all? Or?
I have to say, I spoke very highly of Fields last week. I speak very highly of him whenever I get a chance to.
Right.
So I have to be honest, he did not play well on Sunday. Did not look as good. But I have faith in Fields. Hopefully he can get back healthy and he can continue to put on more performances like he did in week 1.
Let's hope concussion's not too serious. So I guess we'll see what happens with the protocol. And I know you want to talk about the Ravens Browns, right? I'll let you take the reins on this one.
I do. I was interested. Obviously, a very rough loss for the Ravens in week 1.
Yes.
I know it's the Browns, but the Browns are a division foe, and I was very interested to see how the Ravens would bounce back and how they would perform coming off that crushing loss. And I was pretty impressed with what I saw. The Browns defense played very well. They were containing the Ravens offense early, but Joe Flacco made some turnovers and the Ravens got back in it. And I was very impressed with the way the defense played. Obviously, the Browns offense aren't world beaters, but the Ravens defense was very sound. They were getting after it. Very good plays made by the secondary. It was good to see Nate Wiggins get an interception and take it all the way back to the 5. And it was good to see the Ravens continue to put up another 40-pointer. So that was very impressive.
Go ahead. No, keep going.
One thing of note for the Browns, I know with Joe Flacco having a subpar performance, there are going to be some. I'll put the rookies in there. Dylan Gabriel actually got a garbage time touchdown. But I think Joe Flacco is obviously up there in age, and he has his limitations. But I think still at this point, the Browns coaching staff will put in those rookies when they're ready to play. As of right now, Joe Flacco, I would imagine, has a much higher grasp of the offense. He knows what to do with the ball.
Right.
He did have some bad throws, like the play where he was intercepted by Maywood. That was a poor decision. He shouldn't have thrown that ball. Escaping to his right. I think he forgot how old he is. He forgot what year it was, and he got to make a play. But that was a poor decision, and the Ravens made him pay for it. But I would, because I know a lot of people are going to say put the rookies in there. I would say give Flacco, like, trust the Browns, coach staff, trust Kevin Stefanski.
Right.
Let them put those guys in when they're ready.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And I think you never want to set up, your rookies for failure. You want to make sure that you're giving them the right amount of time to learn behind the veterans, right, and also be able to learn the playbook and learn the scheme and everything else before they get thrown in there. So, we're on week 2 right now. So you typically don't want to make those changes quite yet. You want to wait and see first what you have and what can be learned before you make those moves.
Yeah, I mean, Shadur Sanders jerseys are selling like hotcakes. I mean, he's one of the best-selling jerseys, and yet there's still questions about when he's actually going to come in and actually play for them. Since he looks like he's still probably is still behind Dylan Gabriel actually in the depth chart. But Lamar Jackson 4 touchdowns. He definitely looked solid. Looked solid last week too. It was an unfortunate loss for the Ravens last week. So they won 41-17 over the Browns. And Seahawks beat the Steelers. That was another one. Another stat. Okay, let's get another stat.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson. So after Sunday's performance, now is the NFL's all-time leader in passer rating and in rushing yards. So he continues to prove that he is the ultimate dual-threat quarterback. I just think it can't be overstated.
Yeah.
I'm biased here, but I just think it can't be overstated. How great Lamar Jackson is. It just
no question.
The plays that he makes, like, there's nothing there without him just making those Lamar plays sometimes.
Right.
So he's very impressive, and it was very impressive what he did on Sunday.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's jump over to the Seahawks and the Steelers. Seahawks beating the Steelers 31-17 in Pittsburgh, for sure. But that was something. I mean, Sam Darnold, 2 touchdown passes, 295 yards, 2 interceptions, and yet still enough to win. Held the Steelers in the air, and Aaron Rodgers to 267 yards. So the Steelers did not look as good as they did the previous week against the Jets. But anything to add?
Just gonna add just a crazy play. There was a kickoff return, and I don't even remember who it was, but the returner let the ball go into the end zone behind him. And so because of that, and it touched him on it, so it was hard to tell kind of on the camera if it actually hit him or not. But since it also hit him, I mean, of course, at that point, they recovered it from the touchdown. They recovered it with a touchdown. And so that changed the entire momentum of the game. They're playing catch up from there. Aaron Rodgers can't move too fast like he did before in the past. And that was pretty much ball game. I mean, they could not stop Seattle.
That was a rough one.
That was a rough one. And Seattle looked better too than what we were expecting. I think also going against Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's defense was so tight, and they're typically in that top 5 defense with J.J. Watt in that defense, and they just haven't looked as strong so far.
Right. Yeah, I think that's fair. Anything you wanted to add, Marcus?
That play that you mentioned, Caleb Johnson muffing the kickoff return, that was a big play. That flipped that game on his head. That rookie mistake, that is Caleb Johnson. He is a rookie. He obviously didn't know, but that was a big play.
Big play.
Should have known,
Mike Tomlin was critical of him after the game. You just can't have that. And that was a huge play. DK did get his revenge. He got a Randy Moss touchdown in the end zone. Moss and Kobe Bryant. That was a great play.
I heard that name. I forgot his name was Kobe once he said it. And I was like, oh, that's right. That's the Kobe Bryant guy with the exact same name. That one was. I would say he got his partial revenge. I think he really wanted that win too, though, and they were really hoping to actually pull it off. And I think when that play happened, it was just too hard. I think there was only 8 minutes left when that happened. 7 or 8 minutes left when it happened. So it was already kind of far fetched, but then they just couldn't stop Seattle on the run game. They were just running it. They kept getting the first downs there at the time.
Yeah. And another amazing ending was the Colts Broncos game, right? Colts,
A lot of Colts games.
Broncos 28. And for those who might have missed it, Spencer Schrader basically was trying to take a 60-yard field goal that was way out and totally missed it. But the penalty on the Broncos basically allowed Spencer Schrader to come back and kick a 45-yard field goal with no time left on the clock, and sure enough, that's what put the Colts ahead, 29-28. So it was the first time the Colts had a 2-0 start since 2009. Jonathan Taylor finished with 165 yards and a touchdown. More importantly, Daniel Jones continues his comeback to prove that he's actually an NFL quarterback. Legitimately, he finished with 316 yards and the victory there. Anything to add on that game that you might have noticed?
Nothing really.
I have another stat.
Okay, notice that.
Great. So what you got?
Let's hear it.
Colts, that guy.
Yes.
This Sunday, they are the first team in the Super Bowl era to not punt at all in their first 2 games of the season.
Wow.
Wow, that's interesting.
Very
Okay.
They haven't
Wow.
punted all season yet?
I want.
That's pretty
Very
wild.
impressive. So,
Wow.
So much
touchdown,
for-
field goal.
Yes.
Or they're going for it. Pretty much.
basically,
Okay. I like that.
And
that's very impressive. So,
That is impressive.
that is impressive.
Daniel
Yep.
Jones is making his case.
He's making his
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
So far,
He
so
belongs.
good. So
He
far,
belongs.
so good.
Yep.
He's showing he belongs so far. So
That's right.
I'm happy to see that. It was a big change.
As a Duke fan, I'm very happy to see it. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And of course, the final game we'll talk about tonight is the Falcons beating up on the Vikings. JJ McCarthy has an ankle injury and looks like he's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks. So Carson Wentz looks like he's going to be starting for the Vikings in the next game. And the Falcons, Parker Romo had 5 field goals.
Yeah. He didn't miss one. I don't think.
I don't think so. I
Yeah,
don't think
he was
so.
5 for 5.
Yeah,
And he's a rookie. Or he's either a rookie or they just picked him up.
They picked him up. He'd been with the team for 5 days when he
Right.
kicked those 5
I
field
was
goals.
hearing
So
about
yeah,
that.
new to the team, and
Sounds like
enough
he's
for the
winning
victory.
job. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
he might win that spot after that
I
performance.
think so. I think
So
so.
no, that was great. I was gonna get into Penix.
Right.
Go
Okay.
for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say once
Yeah.
again, Penix just commanded that offense. He really showed what he could do, what he continues to do.
Yeah.
Since last year, and
Right.
he looks mature. He looks like he's got a great control on the offense.
Right.
I really liked that he really demands to get things done.
Yes.
He really if he doesn't like how something's going, he'll be screaming on the sideline to the coach is like, "Hey, we got to get this going, or we got to
Yes.
figure this out." I like that because it shows his confidence as a quarterback, and just his focus on the offense and on what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he makes very little mistakes on top of that.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
I was really impressed to see that.
Absolutely. Anything else to add?
That was
Our
very
football
impressive.
Very
I
okay.
have yet another stat.
Yes.
Okay,
Let's hear it.
Right.
Let's hear the stat.
Do you know the last time the Falcons allowed 6 or fewer points in a game?
The last time.
No. How long has it been?
It has been about 5 years.
Okay.
It happened in 2020.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And also at that time, Raheem Morris was their interim head coach, and their defensive coordinator was Jeff Obrecht.
Okay.
Both guys have the same positions
Yeah.
right now.
All right. Which is
Wow.
also unusual. All the turnover in the coaching staff. A lot of times.
That's still that must have been Matt Ryan there still. Just before you
Yeah. All right.
But very impressive. The Falcons, I thought, looked very good. Bijan Robinson
Bijan,
is
Yeah.
very fun to watch.
Once
He
again.
is very electric with the ball in his hands.
Yep.
They had a package on Sunday Night Football, Saquon Barkley saying he has the best cuts in the NFL, and that's high praise coming from
High
Saquon
praise.
Barkley, who
Definitely.
he has a case that he makes the best cuts in the NFL. But he said it's Bijan,
Yeah.
and I would agree. Bijan makes some very impressive plays.
He does, and I want to say he had about 185 yards rushing. He had almost a 200-yard rushing. He was close. I think he was close to it. But yeah, he had receiving too. So I think he might have had over 200 yards total offense. So he's just continuing to do stuff.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to be back with more in just a moment. We're going to take a break. FNN Sports Zone is brought to you by the Orlando Regional Realtors Association. Stay tuned for more. Marcus, thank you for joining us. We certainly appreciate that.
The Florida Lottery is proud to support education by contributing billions of dollars to Florida schools and awarding countless Bright Future scholarships so Florida students can do more than just dream of a brighter future. They can create one. Learn more at flalottery.com.
Undisputed super middleweight champion by unanimous decision after 12 rounds. Crawford is now 42-0. He's got 31 knockouts. Alvarez, not a bad record at 62-3-2, 39 knockouts. It's sort of interesting that Crawford actually became the first fighter in the four belt era, since going back to 2007, to become an undisputed champion in 3 weight classes: junior welterweight, welterweight, and super middleweight. That match you might have seen on Netflix, and I would imagine if you missed it, it's probably going to be reshown for a while. But kind of an interesting match for boxing fans. We don't get a lot of good boxing matches lately.
Yeah, that is very exciting one. Definitely.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about the WNBA. WNBA getting into the postseason and playoffs. You made a comment earlier about how it hasn't been quite as exciting since the loss of Caitlin Clark. Yeah, she's still recovering from her injury, unfortunately, and will be out for the rest of the season, obviously. But in the WNBA, we'll talk about first round of the playoffs, which is a best of 3 round. The Las Vegas Aces opened their playoff run with a victory over the Seattle Storm, 102-77. And it was actually the 17th consecutive victory for the Aces. One more will tie the league record of 18. And also puts we'll put the Vegas Aces into the WNBA semifinals for the 7th season in a row if they get that victory. And also the record, by the way, is the LA Sparks back in 2001. They were the ones with the 18 in a row, led by Lisa Leslie, who also won the title in that year. And Asia Wilson could become the first to win her 4th MVP award, as everyone's waiting to see who the MVP is going to be this season. Wilson currently is tied with Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, and Lauren Jackson as 3-time MVPs. So we'll see if she gets the 4th one.
Yeah,
see what happens. And the New York Liberty beat the Phoenix Mercury in Game 1, 76-69. The sad part of that game is that Breanna Stewart went down with an injury to her knee, and we're not really sure how long she might be out for. Hopefully it's not too serious. And the Minnesota Lynx beat the Golden State Valkyries 101-72. And the Atlanta Dream beat the Indiana Fever 80-68. So very exciting for the WNBA to see where that goes.
Right.
We'll all be watching closely. And over in NASCAR playoffs continue. We've got Christopher Bell won on Saturday at Bristol Motor Speedway. The cut has now been made from 16 drivers down to 12 at Bristol, and so there are still 7 races and 3 rounds remaining for those who are paying attention to NASCAR. And the championship race will be taking place in Phoenix at Phoenix Raceway on November 2nd. So stay tuned for more NASCAR.
November 2nd.
November 2nd.
A couple months ago.
Mark your calendar. Absolutely. Yes, definitely.
About 6 weeks.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've been following Major League Baseball at all, paying attention to what's been happening over there.
A little bit.
Yeah. So we'll just kind of recap briefly where we are with the playoff run. In the AL East, you've got the Blue Jays on top, but the Yankees and the Red Sox firmly in position for wild card spots there. In the Central, you've got the Tigers leading, and then you've got in the West the Astros with the Mariners in the wild card spot there. But close behind, you've got it's very possible that the Red Sox, obviously jockeying for a wild card spot there. You've got just a few games out. You've got teams like the Rangers, the Indians are 3 games out. Royals 6.5 games back with a wild card spot, and even the Rays. Hard to imagine they're going to actually get it, but they're about 7.5 games out of the wild card spot. Maybe they'll surprise us and get in there.
Yeah, and currently now we got the Cubs Pirates right now. Cubs are up 1-0, top of the 3rd.
There you go.
And then the Braves Nats Nationals. Nationals are up 1-0 on top of Philly as well.
There we go. Okay, so because over in the National League, talking about NL ball, you've got the Phillies and Mets jockeying for position there. In the Central, you got the Brewers on top, and in the West, the Dodgers. Also in the wild card spots, you've got the Cubs and the Padres. Look like they're locked in there, but the Giants are close behind. They're only about a half game out of wild card spot there, and even the Diamondbacks are only 2 games out. Reds 1.5 games out, Cardinals 4 games out, and the Marlins about 6.5 games out. So maybe the Marlins and Rays will crank it up end of the season here and sneak into the playoffs through the wild card spot, possibly.
Yeah,
we shall see. But also, speaking about the Rays, it's kind of an interesting, for those who've been following the Orlando Dreamers, there was some interesting news that just developed this past week about Dr. Rick Workman, who was going to be backing the Orlando Dreamers, the potential expansion team for Major League Baseball. Dr. Rick Workman has decided that he's going to be teaming up with the new Tampa Bay Rays owners and working with the Rays to try to find a new location. So there's been some talk that the Rays may be leaving St. Pete. There's been talk about them moving possibly over to Hillsborough County, a little bit closer to Orlando, and a little bit closer to Raymond James Stadium, where that's located in Tampa. And I think it's somewhere around Hillsborough Community College, I believe, is the spot they're looking at. But and then John Morgan also kind of stepping down from the Dreamers and saying that he won't back the team unless he knows that they're coming to Orlando. But according to Barry Larkin, he says that there is still $2 billion that the Orlando Dreamers have committed for an Orlando team. So it's not completely dead yet. We'll see what happens. Right. Hopefully the Dreamers will be able to find a way to lure the Rays to compete with the bid that Tampa might be putting together, and see if we can get the Rays to come to Orlando. That might be exciting.
Yeah, that would definitely be exciting for sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, let's see what happens.
We shall see.
We shall see. And actually, the Rays are actually getting ready to play here at 7:30 tonight. So
there we go. Who are they taking on tonight? Let's see. They're playing against the Blue Jays. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that game will be starting pretty soon here. For those who are paying attention to golf over in the PGA, Scotty Scheffler had to come from behind victory to win his 19th victory on the PGA Tour at the Pro Tour Championship in California. Scheffler's just been incredible. I don't know if you're paying much attention to PGA and what's happening.
I was noticing some highlights.
Yeah, he's something. He's just incredible. I mean,
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there are not a lot of golfers that have made it to 19 victories on the PGA Tour, so you got to give Scheffler a lot of credit for that.
Yeah. Oh, his 6th win too.
Yeah. So absolutely, just this year, and that's after getting off to a slow start because of some injuries that he had suffered early in the year. So he kind of got off to a slow start, and he's really been picking up the pace.
Already his 6th win. Wow.
Incredible.
Man, this year.
Right. And we'll cover briefly soccer fans out there, Orlando Pride and Orlando Lions. The Orlando City Lions on Saturday had a tie game against DC United, finishing 1-1. Orlando City is currently in 6th place in the East, and their next game will be on Saturday, September 20th at 7:30 in Nashville. And the Orlando Pride tied Bay Football Club 1-1 on Saturday as well. And the Pride are currently in 6th place in the NWSL, National Women's Soccer League. And they'll be playing tomorrow night in the CONCACAF Women's Championship Cup. The game will be taking place in Panama, so that's kind of exciting for Orlando Pride fans.
All right.
Let's talk college football. I know that's what we all want to hear a little bit more about. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. FNN Sports Zone is brought to you by the Orlando Regional Realtors Association. Stay tuned for more.
One of the things I love about Bass Pro is they have 3 great ways to shop.
You can head into one of their awesome stores, visit BassPro.com, or get great gear from that catalog Johnny Morris sends out. Hi, here's your package. Bass Pro Shops, where commitment, passion, and the great outdoors all come together.
Why would you shop anywhere else?
All right, we're going.
And we're back. The FNN Sports Zone returns. I'm Mike Brodsky.
And I'm Jermaine Kimbrough.
And we're back, and we're just getting messages here that the Texans apparently. You want to go ahead and give us the news about the Texans over the Bucs?
Yeah, Texans right now with an early lead, 7-0 over the Bucs. They got a TD from C.J. Stroud it was a pass to Nico Collins. So far, that's what we know from here. We're getting some updates from our team.
Yeah.
But let's see. So they're out early.
Yeah, so thank you to Matt Wolf for giving us that update on Facebook here. But let's talk a little bit about college. I don't know if you were paying attention to any of the games over the weekend, any college football games. What was on your radar this past weekend?
I was actually I watched a couple of the big games.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the bigger ones that I was watching was the Alabama game. I saw that one. That one was pretty big against Wisconsin. They got a big win.
Sure.
And also, I want to say it was LSU. Yeah, LSU was another big win over Florida.
Over the Gators, yeah.
Yep, over the Gators. Yep, another big one. So a lot of the Gators fans, not the best Saturday for them.
No.
Yep. How about you? What were some things you're looking at?
Well, in Miami, you got to give them credit. I mean, the Hurricanes blew out USF, so that kind of knocked USF down to number 25 in the top 25, but also pushed Miami Hurricanes up to number 1, which I thought was kind of interesting. So to have the Hurricanes at number 1 is fantastic news for any Miami Hurricanes fan that's been waiting for the Miami Hurricanes to become back in the CFP discussion once again. So the Hurricanes are looking like the team to beat. Ohio State still at number 2. They're going to be tough as the season goes on, but Georgia right now is at number 3, and LSU, as you mentioned, they are at number 4. Oregon's sitting at number 5. A lot of football left to be played, though, right?
Absolutely. So I was actually going to bring up Georgia, because that was the other game, probably the biggest game of the weekend. I would say. I mean, just when it comes to the magnitude of the game, as well as the back and forth. I mean, the Bulls seemed to do everything they needed to do to win that game, and it came down to the kicker once again, and he just couldn't close the deal. I mean, the kick was far right, and it was tough. I mean, I think the whole Tennessee fan base thought this is finally our chance to beat Georgia. I don't think they had beat them in the past. I think it's been at least like the last 10 seasons. Something. It was a long. I remember it was a long time since they'd actually beaten them.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Georgia came out with just an amazing, one of the clutchest catches I've seen from. It was from Gunner. What's his name? It was Gunner. I'm trying to remember his last name. Stockton. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
I just remember Gunner.
Gunner Stockton.
But he had this amazing play. This was a 4th. I want to say it was 4th and 4. And I mean, he throws it to his guy right there in the end zone, and it was amazing. I mean, this was like an over the shoulder grab. They had to have it, and they got it. And it was an amazing play. And to be honest, I ended up leading them to winning that game. But this went overtime, and a lot of back and forth in this game. And I mean, it was just a shootout. And then Georgia's defense came up big on the stop. And after that, they just ran the ball nonstop. They got it into the end zone. So it was an amazing win for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely.
Heartbreaking loss.
Heartbreaking for Tennessee. No question. But certainly Tennessee will remain in the discussion as the season goes on. So we'll see what happens here. And of course, very exciting for Seminole fans. FSU is still ranked at number 8. So hopefully they'll continue to keep winning as the season goes on here. And wouldn't it be exciting if we ended up with both the Seminoles and the Hurricanes maybe in the college football playoffs? That would be fantastic.
Yeah, how about that? Let's see.
So, and maybe even USF, if they finish strong, could theoretically sneak in there as well. That would be unbelievable if we can make that happen.
Yep.
But who knows?
That would be unbelievable.
That would be unbelievable. Yeah, a lot of football left. So we'll see how the season plays out. But also probably worth mentioning, anything else you want to add about college football? Any other games that were on your radar from the weekend?
Not too much. No, I was kind of flipping back and forth a little bit, but no, for me that was it. That was it. That was most of the big stories from what I was looking at. How about you? Anything else come up for you?
I think those are kind of the highlights. I was very disappointed to see Duke lose, but that's another story. We won't get into that one.
Yeah.
But
in South Carolina too.
In South Carolina, it's a good point. Yeah, Lenora Sellers got hurt just before halftime and is in the concussion protocol, and that was a shame because South Carolina looked like they had a shot, and then all of a sudden they just kind of fell apart and lost, and that was very disappointing. And I don't know how long Lenora Sellers is going to be out, but if he's out, doesn't look great for South Carolina Gamecocks, so we shall see. Hopefully it's a very short time in the concussion protocol and he comes back. And gets back in the Heisman discussion. Because as of right now, he may be out of it if he doesn't come back to the field.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Penn State, though, number 2 now,
Mm-hmm.
ranked number 2 in there. They beat Villanova 52-6, so a huge blowout. I'm a long-time Penn State fan because my cousin quarterback there back when Saquon was there.
Yep.
Trace McSorley. He's now an alumni and back involved on the coaching side. But I was happy to see them pull off that win. I mean, it was expected, but nice dominant win for them, and they're still rolling forward. That they should be in the playoff if they keep those wins up.
Yes, absolutely. But it's probably worth mentioning too, since we're getting so close to the basketball season here. For those who were paying attention, the Eurobasket championship was won by Germany, featuring 2 of the Orlando Magic players, Franz Wagner and Tristan da Silva. Had a great round. They ended up winning the gold in the Eurobasket championship over there, and so very, very exciting for them. After Germany also won the FIBA World Cup championship back in 2023, and they also won the bronze. Germany won the bronze in the Eurobasket competition in 2022. And Orlando Magic season getting ready to start pretty soon. The Orlando Magic Media Day will be taking place on September 29th, and FNN will be there to cover that. And we have the first practice of the Orlando Magic happening on September 30th, and then the first preseason game will be taking place in Puerto Rico on October 4th. So stay tuned for more coverage on that. But let's talk a little bit about, let's kind of start wrapping things up here. Of course, we've got a couple of games going on tonight. You want to talk about Monday Night Football, what we're going to be seeing this evening?
Yeah,
we're already seeing, I guess.
Yeah. It's coming up. So so tonight, the Bucks are looking to get back in it and get their second win of the season. And so I think one of the things I'm looking forward is to seeing how they can get Mike Evans more involved. I think they're going to get right back into the rookie sensation, Luka. And he's been, they're expecting him to have another big role right now. And I think other than that, also with making sure that we have a good back and forth game, I think that's how it's going to be. I think it's going to be closer than what people might expect.
Okay.
But I do think that we're going to see a good game today.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good game. So we shall see.
We'll see. I think the Bucks will be. Back into it. Yeah. So far, I know Stroud's up, but I think so far it's still 7-0.
Okay.
7-0.
Yep.
But I do think that I think the Bucks can do it. And I think the Texans also looked. They had some shaky moments last week. Mm-hmm. So I want to see what plays into that.
Sure.
Of course, I'm hoping Tampa pulls it off. So we'll see how that goes. But I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be tight. A lot of people like Houston, but I think it's going to be a lot closer for sure.
Well, we shall see. So the game is already underway, and then of course at 10 o'clock we got the second Monday Night Football game. 2 Monday Night Football games happening this week. We got the Chargers playing against the Vegas Raiders, and so we shall see what happens in the late game as well.
Yeah.
And for Florida football fans, the Dolphins are going to be playing on Thursday night. They're up against Buffalo, so it's going to be a tough game. Mm-hmm. Will the Dolphins be starting 0-3? I don't know. The Bills have been tough this season.
I think that's expected. I would say that's expected. So, I don't see the Bills losing right now anytime soon. I mean, we'll see, but you never know.
You never know.
This is the NFL.
You never know. Stay tuned for more on that. But any final thoughts? Anything else you'd like to add?
Just going to say that we got an update. So Texans right now are up 10-7 over the Bucks. So Bucks are on the board. Mm-hmm. Texans are up 3, close game so far. We still got a few minutes left in the first quarter. So let's see what happens. Let's see. They're in Houston.
Yes.
So let's see how the game goes. We still got a few quarters left.
Right. We shall see. So thank you very much for joining us this evening on FNN Sports Zone. We will be back again next Monday at 6:30 p.m. Stay tuned for more FNN coverage. Stay tuned on Florida National News on Facebook, as well as on YouTube, Instagram, and be sure to check out the other Florida National News channels as well, also on social media. And stay tuned to FloridaNationalNews.com for more. I'm Mike Brodsky.
And I'm Jermaine Kimbrough.
And Marcus, you want to come back and say a couple of final words here? Marcus Richardson, a little something to wrap us. Maybe another stat or something. Marcus Richardson, you want to
I am all
out of stat guy.
Oh, the stats. Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, you want to say goodbye to our viewers here?
I will say goodbye. And once again, I'm Marcus Richardson. Thank you all for watching.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.